What's up, guys? This is the very first episode of Errol the Adventurer, the podcast. And I'm Errol from ErrolTheAdventurer.com. You may know me from Instagram or YouTube. You probably don't because nobody knows me at this point. But hopefully, who's ever listening to this now, we could get to know each other. And right now, this is Errol the Adventurer, the podcast. Welcome, everybody. So I've been walking around because I'm an adventurer, and I've been wanting to do a podcast for quite some time. And I asked a few people to say, well, is there anything specific that you would want to be discussed? And I was at a basketball court, and it was like, how about the coronavirus? So we could talk about COVID-19, also known as the coronavirus, also known as the coronas, depending on who you are. So, I'm not a scientist, and everything that I say is for purely entertainment purposes. Let me get that out of the way. I'm not a doctor, nor a scientist. Nor am I gonna address anything that has to do with your health when it comes to coronavirus. But I will, in fact, speculate on some other things. Like, you know how you go in a store right now and you want to stock up on certain things, which I really don't understand why any of that is empty. Toilet tissue, rice and beans, things like that. Like, you got hoarders, but this is just a prelude. Because if this actually lasts longer than the next 2 to 3 months, see, if you live in the southeastern United States of America, we're going in a hurricane season. So we have hurricane panic potentially on top of corona's panic. And depending on how many named storms that we actually get, is going to make things that much worse. And that's just the scares. That doesn't include if any named storm actually hits anybody, and we be kind of wiped out temporarily as a civilization, as we normally are. It could get pretty bad. It could get bad. It could get pretty freaking bad. So, everybody should have just been Florida ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, from now on, like, if we make it through this last little bit of part of the epidemic, just like, people say you should put a couple dollars away. Even though that's pretty hard, but maybe we could put a couple cans away, or a couple bottles of water away. Like, just tuck these away, forget about them, put them in a stash. So that way we don't have to wipe out the shelves, because we got our own shelves at home. Like, we got a whole shelf ready for at least a temporary crisis. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should have been ready for it. You know what I'm saying? That's like literally like $1 a can, like $3 a meal. Like, times what? 14 per day, 14 being a day, so times 14, bada boom. And within a season, you can have a good 2 week supply, and we could still have fully stocked shelves. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just alcoholic drinking mango gelato. Anyways, this actual podcast was brought to you by ErrolTheAdventurer.com. For all your adventure needs and philosophical thoughts, go there. So I was looking at the news, and I seen on the news in Florida about all the beach goers. I think that's pretty awesome. If I could get to a beach like at this very moment, I would be there. First of all, it's salt water. I seen a guy on the news. He had a very weird explanation because he said it was sand, and I don't know. I would have went with salt water. Salt water makes perfect sense. Like salt water is kind of like bleach, saline. So I would have went with that. So like I'm definitely going to the beach because I'm gonna bathe in saline, which is salt water. So that makes perfect sense in my crazy mind. So I don't know, maybe, but I discussed Hurrona 2020. That was the hurricanes and Corona, and I discussed the beach. And so now we're gonna talk about what we are gonna talk about is everything shutting down. And everybody's so excited about the president giving us a check or something like that. But that check really isn't meant for us. That check is to give to the people who's probably gonna try and take our shit away if we don't pay them. Be that a house or a couch or a car or something like that. All those people need their money. That's why there probably will be government checks coming out, because if people are out of work and the government is saying don't go to work, and people don't go to work, so people are not making money because the government said so, yet people still have to pay bills, and those bills got to be paid, and people are talking about taking that shit away because the bills were paid even though the government said don't. Well, what a tangled web we weave. It has been woven. So, when you hear about there might be checks coming, that check is not for you. The check is for corporations. Corporations already talk to everybody in the government like, well, how are we gonna get paid? Because nobody's going to work. Nobody going to work. Bills are going to be overdue, and we will take their shit. And therefore, and that's how many times can the government hand out checks to pay our bills because nobody's going to work? That's no, I don't have a solution, but I can see where it can be pretty terrible. Like I said, if you live in the southeastern United States, it can get really terrible if we get at least one bad hurricane. Keep it in mind, we can get 10 horrible hurricanes between now and Thanksgiving. Nothing on the shelves, no food to eat, everybody's on FEMA's list, and it could be like quite the disaster. And I hope it's not the disaster. I'm just saying, I have an eye for things like that, and I can see it ahead of time if things get really bad. And I can tell you the only reason why the president is talking about giving people checks is to pay for bills so people don't get their shit taken. But that's only going to cover 1 month, and it's probably going to cover mostly one bill for everybody. That's not even going to cover everybody's bill for that month. So a lot of people are going to get their shit taken away because they're not going to work. So they're not making no money. But either way, once again, this show is brought to you by ErrolTheAdventurer.com, coming to you live. So, anyways, can we switch it up a little bit? That's my news section, I guess. But I also think about other things, like extraterrestrial stuff, space stuff, things like that. And well, I have a few theories I would like to run past anybody who still may be listening. For instance, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil deGrasse Tyson, in a roundabout way, ridiculed people who claim to be abducted by extraterrestrials, transdimensionals, or interplanetary creatures with highly technological advanced technology. Anyways, he ridiculed all of them, saying that they have no proof of it. Like they were kidnapped and they have no proof of it. And his suggestion was, it was like, well, next time one of you are kidnapped or abducted, you know what I'm trying to say, abducted. Next time somebody's abducted or kidnapped, which is the same thing, swipe something so you'll have proof of it. Now, here's what I know about living on Earth. I don't know anything about being abducted by off-worldly creatures. But I know there's people on Earth who get abducted by other people, and they can barely get away with their lives, let alone swipe something as proof that they were in fact abducted by this secret organization of body snatchers, whether it be probably sex trafficking or some shit like that. So ask anybody who's been more or less, for lack of a better word to come out of it, of sex trafficking. They can't just get proof they've been abducted too by people on this planet, and they didn't even have an intergalactic spacecraft. So, going on to my next point, you have a craft that can go across vast distances of space and time. And you think it's not gonna have any kind of surveillance or security system? I know Neil is from the Bronx, or Brooklyn, or something like that. But he he don't he don't really know. But I know people, or I knew people, who used to steal a lot, like as a career choice, and people with nice things, usually have a security system in place, surveillance system, alarm system, something like that. So it's you almost discredit yourself as an actual real scientist by ridiculing that, because if you were a real scientist you would know that like clearly you're not taking them serious. Just say that, then you're not taking them seriously. But to say like you're not, I mean, you'll never be in charge of anything on their spaceship. I know that because you don't even know about security systems. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So it's kind of silly, and everybody laughed about it. It seemed like a good point, but it's not a good point because you're saying that they're not smart. Like you could just steal things. Like, can anybody just steal from you? And you don't even have a spaceship. When it comes to humans, or human-like type beings.
Never mind. I made my
if
point.
you believe in extraterrestrials. And if you believe that people get abducted by extraterrestrials, then you should certainly believe that there are people like us all across the galaxy.
No.
Just like we brought all kinds of other different species across the galaxy. I used to be one. I mean, across the planet. People we brought them all across the planet.
Kind of scoffed at the idea of
how we might be an invasive species somewhere on the other side of the galaxy. Now imagine introducing a wild capuchin monkey to a circus capuchin monkey to a pet capuchin monkey
on our own planet.
You know what I'm saying? And they all just put them in a room together. Like, they're not going to be the same at all, even though they're kind of the
supersized snakes.
And they have the same home. If you go back far enough, they are to Burma. They're very different. Very different experiences. We also have actually a colony of monkeys.
Things like
a lot of people don't know about that.
All I'm saying is,
Silver Spring, if you believe Silver Spring, Florida, Silver Spring, Florida monkeys. If you believe in
there's a colony of monkeys that live there,
that would be a possibility. Neither are native to Florida. They're from the total other side of the world. Look at the capuchin monkey. There's a capuchin, anyways, cappuccino monkey. Look at that one. If you came across one with a human, it might be a pet. It might be a lab monkey. It might be a circus monkey.
Once again, this is all for entertainment purposes.
Be a fighting monkey.
To use it for
it might be
story,
any kind of monkey
like that.
You know, that
check me
people
out on
have
the website.
ErrolTheAdventurer all the way out of this habitat.
So
same name for
what
YouTube
I'm saying is,
and Instagram.
hit me up, guys.
When it comes to humans,
so this is
or human-like type of beings,
ErrolTheAdventurer.
if you believe in extraterrestrials,
episode number 1.
And if you believe that people get abducted by extraterrestrials, then you should certainly believe that there are people like us all across the galaxy. Just like we brought all kinds of other different species across the galaxy. I mean, across the planet. We brought them all across the planet. You know what I'm saying? Hell, we might be an invasive species somewhere on the other side of the galaxy. Now imagine introducing a wild capuchin monkey to a circus capuchin monkey to a pet capuchin monkey. You know what I'm saying? And they all just put them in a room together. They're not gonna be the same.